here.
guys,
You're
I popped
camoed.
down here long enough to say hi. I'm heading out.
Okay.
Well, I
Oh,
will
later,
not
Kurt.
curse you.
Stop
I will not
harassing me.
curse you.
Harass yourself, Stick.
Well,
Good
listen, quit.
job.
Keep buying Buff's food and stuff, okay?
Yeah.
You
By the
text me in
way,
I
the
gotta make sure
just
my
text
Join
me
the
in the
payroll
live.
morning.
starts
It's
paying
like,
Join the
wake the
today.
live
fuck up and
fight
get to
over there.
work.
this is Buff the Buffalo.
Sorry, Battlefield. The Wi-Fi is very sketchy. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Very, very sketchy.
So,
Got text,
anyways, all right,
got
I
text
was
me this
following
morning.
this story as much as I could. Can you guys hear me? All
Yeah.
right,
We got you.
and as usual, when something like this happens, the story morphs. Like within, the first 24 hours, then 48 hours is a different story. Within 2 weeks, we've heard a bunch of stuff. We still don't know what happened usually, right? Well, they
Mhm.
said that they arrested the old guy. There were pictures being posted of this guy being arrested, and then there's a video of them escorting him to a vehicle, and the whole time he's yelling, shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. All right. And which makes it seem like he may be one of those people that take credit for something they didn't do, because the official narrative that came from Trump and all the rest of them is that the shot was taken from 200 yards away. There's been photographs of somebody running on a roof after the shot was called. All right. There was also reports that they did get a second suspect in custody, but the first one wasn't the right guy. And if you really go deep into this, there's some people already saying that he's still alive. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the story is going to be all over the board.
Mm-hmm.
We're never going to know the actual truth. That's my opinion.
No.
We're just never going to really know. It's gonna
I
keep
mean,
bouncing
I
around.
definitely don't think that he's really alive.
Mm. No.
Well, yeah, I know.
I don't
It's
either.
It looked like a
hard to.
butterfly type gun wound where it opens up, and it looked like it was not a normal bullet. They hit him with some type of hollow tip or something,
Right.
because
There
it
it
was
is.
a huge
That's where they
entry
train
wound
people.
straight to his carotid artery.
That's the
And that
So,
type
spot
of
they
shot to your
train
carotid artery
people.
is like less than 2
Yeah,
minutes.
so
yeah,
now
that's where they
MS.
train people to slit throats. That's the spot. That's the sweet spot. If you get hit there by a knife or a gun, your chances of survival aren't very good. You can bleed out in a couple minutes.
Well,
Yeah.
Carl, we were talking about bullets, before you came on, and Rescue was talking about it could have been a hollow point because he had on plates. And in the graphic video, it shows it, in what I've heard, it shows it hitting his plate, and then something went up and went through his neck.
Yeah, so I didn't
Oh,
see the close up like that. But
Yeah,
I won't.
there's,
I imagine there's probably going to be all kinds of horrible video coming out too.
there are, but I mean, I'm not going to look at it. This is
Mm.
on this guy's
uh,
website, so you have to be a member, and it's not something I want to see. I know that
Right.
he's
Yeah,
dead. That's all I need to know.
Right.
so they're here on MSNBC blaming guns
Of course they are.
live.
And Goon, you sound just like JS. Just going to say
No.
that.
He doesn't.
Don't
Nah.
say it to JS.
Nah.
Oh,
Trust me.
all right.
There's Goon.
No.
Goon does not sound anything like JS. I
All right,
mean,
never mind. You
No.
don't. I thought that was maybe a compliment. I didn't think it was an insult.
well,
Yeah.
Well, that's
And,
okay.
and you know
you
the
got to know JS. We love JS, but
That's
yeah.
a
he's
smoke
got his own
oopsie.
ideas, right, Goon? But he's 90%
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
The
know he's strongly opinionated. He and I have butted heads a couple times.
oh yeah.
I will
Yeah.
say, according to Cash Patel on X, the guy that was in custody has been released, and nobody
Mhm.
else is in custody as of right now. So
Of course.
search
Of
is
Yeah.
course.
still on.
Yeah. The search
well,
is still on.
Hmm.
it's going to be all over the board. I don't know who to believe.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just figured Cash Patel being the director of the FBI, so I figure if they're
Now,
not looking,
just
if he says they're
always
not.
the first guy they arrest is really very rarely the guy that actually
Right.
did it. I
No,
mean,
Right.
but they have arrested a second guy. So are you saying they've got nobody now? And how long ago was that rescue?
That was what, an hour and 15 minutes ago.
Well, that's almost back when he said they had a suspect in custody.
Well, that's he did it was right in there. But apparently he
Yeah,
was interviewed, but then he was been released, so
but
that
that's
now there
not
is
the
nobody.
younger dude.
That's the last guy in custody. Has
Huh.
been interrogated
Oh,
by the
it's so
FBI
confusing.
and has been released.
Yeah, see,
The
this is
old
what's going to
man
happen.
has the first one that we were like everybody was talking about. That guy had was obstruction of justice, but
Yeah.
he was
You
it
know
wasn't.
what, Rescue? I'm pretty sure. I think I might just possibly, just by chance, yes or no, maybe, I don't know, but I might get what you're trying to say.
Oh, just spit it
There
out,
you go.
Carl.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like I'm making a point, man. They're gonna, the story's gonna be all over the board, man. Like I said, it's like it's gonna be this whole. Every time something happens, there's all these different rumors and
Yeah.
conspiracy theories and
I am
reports
gonna
that
call it though.
contradict other reports, and it's like,
Well,
but
it just
what if
depends on
the
what
fuck
you
did
want to.
happen?
It
Does
depends on what
anybody
you
I'm
want
gonna
to
believe
call it
follow,
though.
that,
Carl.
By the time
It
if they
depends
find
on
out
what you want to
anything,
follow.
they're
If
gonna
it's
find
just
out that the guy's probably a subscriber to Destiny or Hassan for sure.
well, then
see, you're
again,
just
it's like I said,
it's
we
just
only know
it's
what
in the
they
bubble
tell us
thing.
unless you're there. All right,
I
and
just
I'm
think
not
that
even
we got a
sure the
different
good guys
administration
tell us
this
the
time.
truth.
So I think under
Right, but
this
how do we know?
administration, this FBI would be different. So I'm not really seeing it
But
from the
but
same approach as
rescue,
before.
I
So I
agree. I
figure
agree.
Cash. That's
Listen,
why I follow Cash Patel and Pam Bondi
I agree.
directly on X. That way, I don't worry about what somebody tells me
But
they say.
what if
I go
they
look
can't
at what
tell
they
you the
actually
truth
say.
yet? But what if he can't tell you the truth yet for the good of everybody? So
I
Well,
wouldn't
they're
believe anything
even.
Bondi says.
I don't. I mean, I don't. I guess Carl, but then I mean, maybe I'm lying to you for some secretive reason, so you might want to question that. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to just, hey man, I got
Right.
faith in this, and unless you give me a reason to distrust you,
That was my
I think
point.
you're
That
coming
was
at me.
my entire point, man. Is they've got us all discombobulated. I don't know what the fuck to believe anymore. All the way around. It's
We're
like
watching you
Some
right now on our monitor. By the way, Carl,
some
we're
people.
we're paying attention to what you're doing right now.
That's why I say
Yeah.
you got to watch the input. That's why I always tell people during my streams, you got to watch the input you put in because garbage in will be garbage out. So decipher. This is the digital age. This is the whole idea is to create content. So you can't just go with what seems cool and what's like, well, no, see, I knew it. I knew they did click on that thumbnail because it has something to justify your emotional response to something. You have to step back a minute and go, where does that fit in the puzzle? Oh, okay. And it looks a little different. And
I, th-
right, go ahead,
I,
Cindy.
th-
but
oh, I'm
I
sorry.
was going to say this.
Camo,
Let me just
camo,
quickly
camo.
say.
Hold on,
Yeah, but it'll take you 20 effing
lady.
minutes.
No, don't. I was just going to say,
Get
like,
her, Carl. Get her.
like the Vegas shooting. Do you believe the official narrative on that one?
Nope.
It's like a whole bunch of those. That's all I was saying.
Well, just got a changing of the tide now. If well, and then okay, my bad, because this is going under the assumption that the Trump second administration, is a decent one that has the best interest at heart. And if you go under that umbrella, then the actions of these three-letter agencies, well, we should start to see a difference. Whether that's to
I hope
fruition,
so.
I don't know, but that's you. That's at one point your cup is half full or half empty. I don't live in a
Well,
victimization kind of world, so I'm thinking, hey man, these people have said that they're doing this. Until you show me you're lying, I'm going to go with it.
well,
I
I'm
just,
right
I
there
can
with
respect that. I think
you.
people can respect that. I mean,
I think we just need to get past the news today and tonight, and then digest more of it tomorrow. Because whatever
yeah.
comes out the rest of the day and night is just going to be BS, BS, BS here and there, all
Mm-hmm.
over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
To
Facts.
me,
we just got to
It's going to
stick
get
to the
worse.
facts. We got to stick to the
well,
facts.
We
We know
already
that
see it. The
Charlie Kirk is
24-hour
dead.
news
mm,
cycles, all the witnesses that they're interviewing now have like nothing of any value to add to what
Right,
happened. They're just
right.
people out on the street around the
There,
time of when it happened.
there's already video evidence of what happened, and all they're doing is their perspective of what happened. We can see what happened. We don't know exactly who the shooter is or where it's coming from. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna grasp at everything, and we're not gonna know until the official report comes out.
I'm just waiting for the liberals to come out and say this is another fake shooting because
They
they're
already
going to
did.
say something.
Somebody
They
already
already
has.
did.
They already have.
Oh yeah,
Already,
I see.
They've
It
been
doesn't
calling a
surprise
false
me at all.
flag.
It doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me at all.
yeah,
They,
speculation and hearsay, very right, Huck.
It took AOC 1 minute to blame guns, and it's just okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's pictures and screenshots of people wishing him bad before it even started. So there's going
Mhm.
to be a whole lot of hatred, I'm guessing, exposed on this. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it's all it is. Hate
Hey,
causes this stuff. They're all
the
guilty for it. Everybody who pushes this division and hate, it's
Well, and if you can't, if you know, despite what I have differences of opinion, and I didn't agree with everything, but the guy was like Mike. You said he's a human being. He was a father. I mean, he was a husband. He was a God fearing, believing person. He was a person that tried to make his community better, whether you agree with it or not. I mean, at the end of
Right.
the day, you can't change those facts, and to gloss over that and to you know
He's
try to
and
make an exception to this, and it's just
he's
sick.
he's an
So that's why I brought
entrepreneur
up the
too.
Israel thing, because on both like extremes of the spectrum, there's like a lot of like hatred towards that's being brought down on him. Ben Shapiro, somebody else that like if I was him, I'd be being very careful right now after this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't
But at
know.
the
It's
same
not
time,
usually like
I don't know. I think the
I
speakers need
don't
to
see a
show
lot
up
of
in court and
conservative.
like
I don't
be
see a
like,
lot
"Hey,
of people
you're not going to
attacking that
scare us."
guy.
I think the main
I don't.
issue myself, I think it was the abortion thing he did because that's I will say that he boy, the ones that would come out, there would always be some that were like, congrats, thank you're here. Then there'd be the ones that really seemed sincere, that were middle ground. They weren't quite sure what they thought of it. He would
Mm-hmm.
go the whole of the conception, the new DNA formed. But then there was always the crazy radicals. And I got to say, man, there were times I would even be watching some of them and I'm going, oh, damn, y'all watching him. And you could even see the bodyguards starting to lean because they just kind of acted so
Yeah.
off the wall. And then you kind of go, well, let's see, this is the bunch right here that thinks that this is some kind of clump of cells and doesn't acknowledge it as a human life. So I don't know. This is kind of the really radical side. And so you could see, I mean, yeah.
Well, did you see the video of Charlie Kirk when he had like the older gentleman that came up and he said, "I'm a Christian, and the Holy Spirit told me that I need to come out here and I need to stop you," and
Challenged him to a fight.
punched him
Yeah.
to a duel.
Dude,
And
it's just,
there's crazy people like that, and as he's saying that, I'm like, the Holy Spirit did not tell you to go fight somebody. That's a different
it might
spirit,
have
buddy.
on some different channels, dude. You ought to see. So what some of the channels say, there's some crazy shit that gets
Uh,
said, and you kind of look, and there it can be anywhere from 13 followers to 130.
oh,
So
we lost
you're like,
one.
well, I don't know. Somebody thinks that this makes sense, but
Right.
which I've told you that before on my stream. Sometimes I leave that tablet on autoplay just for kicks to
Mm-hmm.
see what it throws up next. And I got to tell you, YouTube's got one jacked up sense of humor because
Yep.
Yeah.
You
they
leave
throw
that
some weird
autoplay
shit in my
on.
feed.
Yes, they will
Yeah.
start feeding you garbage.
Because
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
we
busy
have a
working on
big
something. All
problem
of a
with
sudden,
radicalism right now.
Mm-hmm.
The shootings, especially political shootings, have been like going up,
Yeah.
especially in Utah. Like it's crazy. This has happened in Utah, and Utah has already had like 2 or 3 shootings in the last like 4 months politically related.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like back to back. I mean, Rescue and I were talking today when he told me about Charlie Kirk, and we had the Ukrainian lady, you know, stabbed for no reason whatsoever. Just and then tomorrow's going to be 9/11. So like today and tomorrow are going to be known for a long time.
well,
Oh,
it's
we
like,
lost
think
you.
like the Ukrainian lady that got stabbed. But
Mm-hmm.
before that happened, anything about Israel, Gaza, or whatever, or any of these countries, you'd always see the little Israel flag in the signatures or something. Boy, it was Ukrainian flag flying everywhere. Hell, you got congressmen wearing little pins, Ukrainian, Ukrainian, Ukraine, Ukraine. And then all of a sudden, this happens and not a word. It's like, well,
There
wait a
you
minute.
go. It's
What
also a
happened to the
blood moon
Ukraine?
too. Wow.
Escaped the war over there. Where's I thought we were, you wanted us to send
Well,
more
the story
billions over
lined
there.
up too, because Trump was moving from more of an anti-Ukraine perspective, and now he's more trying to, because he's decided Putin's unnegotiable with. So now we're trying to earn back a lot of that good grace with Ukraine.
Can I
Oh,
just
okay.
say something about the Ukrainian young woman that was killed?
No, you got to be quiet about it. No, I'm just
Well, it's
kidding.
kind of a
Go ahead.
detour, Mike. We need to have a talk. I need to fuss at you. Anyway,
Get him, girl.
yeah, in regards to that, I mean, I'm sure you all know by now the long, long criminal rap sheet that
Oh
dude
yeah.
had. He was out on he got out on cashless bail
Yep.
after he murdered that woman. This
Hmm.
stupid leftist judge let him out paying no cash. I think he's
Hmm.
back now, and it's just I'm just overwhelmed by that one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
That's
put it
just
that way. There was also a
right.
graphic video on the website about that one, and of course I didn't watch it. I don't need to see that stuff. I know
Right.
this person suffered.
Well, what's happening, and I was talking to somebody at work today because when I got back, I was talking about Charlie Kirk, and I said what needs to happen is we need to bring back capital punishment. We need to bring it all back because when you were a kid and you got in trouble and you knew dad was on his way home, you hid because fuck, he's gonna get me, you know. And now it's just we need to open up the nut houses and stop coddling to these crazy mentally ill people, or evaluating them for like what a couple hours, and then we're like, oh, okay, that because we all know they say what we want them to say to be like, oh, okay, well, you're good, you're fine. No, no, if you're mentally ill, you need to be locked up, you know, in a nice padded room away from regular society. And all these people that go against our laws and murder and rape and do all this stuff, hey, we're going to make an example out of you
Well, let me
because
ask you this. Does everybody that goes out and like shoot up a school or does like the stabbing and everything else, are they mentally ill or do they just have a fit of rage at that particular moment? Because I
Well,
get
the
Well, I feel
angry.
like
It doesn't mean I'm
the
I
mentally
feel
ill.
trans
like
ones. Well, the trans
postal
ones would definitely
shootings
have a
and
mental.
political based shootings are different. Like I don't think
What?
that they're rooted in the same causes. Maybe
I'm
I think if
sorry.
it's
sometimes
a
they are, but I
trans
think
person that
I'm
does
not.
either one, that's a mental issue. Just because if you're going to deny thousands
Okay,
of
no,
year
that
old
one I get.
biology, then that's a mental issue. And
mm-hmm.
yes, that's
That's what I get, but I see too many
Well,
people getting off on insanity charges, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, maybe they just got
it's
really mad and had a bad day and decide to take it out on somebody with a weapon.
well, well. I can't remember who exactly did the research on it, but the majority of those that weren't trans and just kind of flipped and for no reason. A lot of them were on antidepressants or some other psychological drug. So there's something there to that about it's a mental because you know I own guns,
a
and I
psychosis, and it probably
yeah
medically induced psychosis.
Yeah, there's
I don't
there's
mind
days where
saying,
I get angry,
mm,
but I don't feel the need because I'm so angry at the world, and sometimes I'm angry at God. I don't feel like I need to go down the road to the school and just shoot up some innocent kids. That's a wacko. That's a sicko right there. That's
You
but
know what's
somebody
anti,
that
changed? You know what's
an-
changed in the last 50 years? Big
hmm,
pharma.
yeah.
but antidepressants have the opposite effect. I don't mind saying that I'm on a low dose of an antidepressant. It certainly doesn't encourage me to want to ever go hurt anybody physically.
Maybe it's maybe okay. So maybe I'm not saying don't know either way. Any way it goes, maybe you actually benefit from them.
I
But
do.
Hmm.
whenever, okay, well, hold on a minute.
Yeah, no, no.
You
I
got
mean,
to
I didn't mean
hold
to.
on a minute.
I
No,
didn't
no,
mean
no,
to
no, no, no,
sound
no, no, no. You
sharp.
need to mute her, Michael. You need to mute her. She's always
No, I'm muting.
chastising, getting interrupted, and now she's over talking me. So now that'll show
Bite me.
you, ma'am.
I'm here to
But no, see,
please.
maybe at like because if you were like okay, I'm gonna just put it in a dumbed down way just to make it plain. But so a legitimate doctor actually legitimately tested you and said, "Wow, you know what? There's a little deficiency here. You need to take this. That should help balance you out." Boom, you're scoring the benefits of it. I totally can see that. It was thought of for a reason at some point. But if you have just a kid that's acting out, you have parents that don't want to deal with this. They're acting. Oh, look, little Timmy said, "Well, no, actually, little Timmy just wanted to play catch. So little Timmy's sad because your dad isn't in the picture and mom is acting like a bull dyke over here and not paying attention to him. So all of a sudden now you put these chemicals into this kid, but this kid's developing, and so his system hasn't balanced out. So you induce this damn man-made chemical into it. It goes in there, and just in lack of a better analogy, is like a damn mixer bowl. And you just figure out they act like they know. They don't know. These kids are being in development stages. They're at different levels, and all kids develop at different stages. You don't know and so you have a reaction. It's that way with everything.
You also have to think like this, because I was married to somebody that was on meds, and a lot of times when you're on the meds, you start to think that you're getting better, so you get off the meds, and then if there's not somebody there to be like, hey, you're acting kind of weird, what's going on? Are you taking your meds? And then also too, another thing is if you had these issues, you have to be honest with your doctor. If they just because they subscribe you something doesn't mean that's going to work. It's kind of like an experimental thing. They're going to put you on that for like 30 days and hopefully it works. And if it doesn't work or it has like adverse side effects, you have to be honest with the doctor and be like, hey doc, these don't seem to be doing anything, or hey, that there's this side effect, like I'm taking these and I was depressed, but now that I'm taking these I'm even more depressed, because you just listen to the commercials where it says like thoughts of suicide and all that, and you might have just been depressed but never thought of suicide. You start taking this medication and now you're thinking of suicide all the time, or you're getting more aggressive. It's one of those that you got to talk to your doctor and work it out. You
No, I
can't
agree
just
with
be like,
you.
"Ooh,
But you have to
boom,"
know
one
your
time.
body. You have to know
Yeah,
your body. You have to know your mental stability. And for me, I didn't need a blood test. I knew what
right.
was going on in my life. And so I made that choice, but I also did a lot of research before I went on anything. I'm not totally anti-med. A lot of people are.
Right.
I'm not, because I need them in my life. And so I'm on several things and I live my life and I'm not black and white. I'm in that
hmm
nice gray, soft, even area
Right.
where I need
And
to be.
and what works for you what might not work for somebody
Oh,
else. Like
absolutely not.
like I'm gonna do a stream soon. It's not this Saturday, but it's next Saturday. I'm gonna do a stream about PTSD, and you know how many drugs I take to help with my PTSD? Zero. Why? Because I did a lot of research and I just do things that keep my mind busy,
Mm.
and I'm never going to get over it, but I learned to live with it, and I learned to recognize that's why a lot of times I have a good support group, like all my friends. Like if I'm feeling some sort of way, and John can actually vouch for this, if I feel a certain way, I call up John and I'm like, hey man, I'm feeling like this, and John's really wise about it, so he helps me out. Or if he can't help me out, I'll call and talk to somebody else. you
Well,
know
I
you
respect
have
that. I know some vets who have PSTD and they don't take meds. They deal with
right.
it their own way.
Yeah, and I
And
knew guys at the
yeah,
VA that took like 20
yeah.
medications, and I talked to I was like, dude, why are you taking so many? He's like, well, this is what the doctor prescribed me. And I was like, I'm not a doctor, but man, one thing I learned is you got to keep your mind busy. And guess what? He got into some hobbies, and he went from taking 20 all the way down to like taking 5. And he came back and he's like, man, that was great advice. And I'm like, I'm not a doctor, but just make sure you consult with them first, too. you know
Well, I think it's good. I think it's good to question doctors. I don't think you have to
Hmm.
take everything they suggest, and I certainly don't. You know, I've been told to go on cholesterol medicine, and I don't do it. I do it with my diet
Right.
because it
Right.
makes my muscles hurt. It tears my body up. So I refuse it. But
Hmm.
I'm controlling it with what I eat.
Oh, we lost Goon.
So you
Go ahead.
just, you make changes in your life to where you don't
Right.
have to take them. And as far as children, I totally agree with rescue. You know, if you're going to be a parent, be a parent.
Hmm.
Interact with your children so that they don't go wild. And, if they have their times, they have their times.
Right. Right. Like
I mean, they're
I, I
children.
actually, I actually had parents' night at my youngest daughter's school yesterday, and in one of the classrooms, it actually had a guideline, right, about what to do if there was an active shooter in the school. And like most people would see that and go, "Oh, dang, it sucks that we have to do that." But we had all kinds of drills back in the day. Like uh, I never did this, but I think Rescue probably did. If I'm, I don't want to speak for them, but when they had the nuclear scare, like, they were like, okay, if the siren goes off, you get underneath the desk. And now we learned that, well, if it was a nuclear scare hiding under the desk, you're fucked anyways. It's that false sense of security for you.
Hmm.
you,
Hmm.
you know um but yeah, I mean, it's like,
Stop, drop, and roll.
right. Stop, drop, and roll. Get underneath the table. You'll be fine. The radiation won't get you. The atomic bomb's not going to get you. You know, and that's just the reality of it. Is we live in a dangerous society. Like, it just doesn't happen at schools. Like just driving your car down the road, you could be in a fatal accident. But that doesn't stop people from going out there and driving. And Charlie Kirk even said a lot of times, because people were like, oh, like 30,000 people, kids are dying every year. And he's like, well, 55,000 people are dying from auto accidents. We don't ban cars, you
Yeah.
know? And it's that dangerous freedom versus peaceful slavery. And, you know,
I think a
and
lot
so,
of these are overprescribed. I have been on antidepressants in my life. I've been on quite a few things like that, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, whatever. And I always read the inserts and researched them, and it's pretty shocking the side effects. Roughly half of people who take them are going to end up worse. And it
yeah.
Yep.
really does depend on the individual. And giving
Hmm.
all of these to young, undeveloped humans,
Oh, I agree.
it's a recipe for disaster.
I went
Yeah.
through 5 different ones to
Yeah.
find the right one. It was like I had to experiment like a lab rat, which didn't feel really good, but I had to do that because, like, one that worked great for other people was just terrible for me.
Yep.
Right, right. Well, and I think that's the thing too. Whenever you're dealing with medications, is um, it's it it's no different than food. I think a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. Mike knows how I feel about the pharmaceutical industry and about
Hmm.
everything that happened 5 years ago and all that. But
Hmm.
like, I think you will notice that there's things about food that are just the same as drugs, right? So people like to just make this kind of parallelization of, or this is just happens in the pharmaceutical industry. No, we know that if you eat certain foods, you'll have certain benefits. So, for example, bananas. Bananas are really great for creating potassium in your body, but we also know that it kills testosterone. So, okay,
Well,
maybe
I didn't
if
know
you,
that.
yeah, it does,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, I don't have
So,
that. Well, no, I think I have a little bit of it, but I don't eat bananas.
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, you need potassium, but there's an offshoot for this thing, right? And
Jeez.
so that's a natural thing in food too. And I think what it comes down to is we've just been hoodwinked in believing that
Hmm.
we should have all of the
Oh,
positive benefits without ever entertaining a negative consequence to something. And that's just not reality, you know. It's the same thing with sun. Vitamin D is one of the best things for you, whether it's emotions, whether it's depression, whether it's your immune system. But you know what? Some people, if, if they're out in the sun for 20 minutes, they're toast.
Right.
right.
So, you know, it's just reality. I think it's just we see more of the extremeness in the pharmaceutical industry because the chemical aspect.
Right. And I'm glad you brought up the food too, John, because not only is it the pharmaceuticals that we have no idea what's in it, but a lot of times, I know Rescue's harped this a lot on his live streams. You don't know exactly what's in your food. Like, you go to the grocery store now, and most people prefer seedless oranges. I'm growing up, I never remembered seedless oranges, but that's how they
Because it's unnatural.
bioengineered.
It's
Yeah,
a
they
GMO.
but yeah, it's a GMO. So, and then you hear all the time about what's in your kid's cereal, and it claims about like what you're getting isn't real meat, and on top of whatever they're feeding the cows and the chickens, because I'll tell you for firsthand, and Rescue could tell you because he's got chickens. A chicken is not full grown at 6 months, and because I live in Arkansas and there's a whole bunch of chicken houses over. I see these chickens going down the road and they're only 6 months old, but they look like a fully grown chicken, you know, because supply and demand. They're like, okay, faster, better, yeah. And the way that the eggs are produced is wrong, because these sheds, they open and close windows, and a chicken is only supposed to lay one egg per day, and they trick them. They do like 12 hours and they have a light on, and they turn off the light and they think it's a new day. And I don't know how they do it, but it tricks their body into thinking it's a whole new day. So, and so a lot of the stuff that we're putting into our bodies, unfortunately, is affecting us. And some people develop better than other people, even with all these things we're putting in our body. And then on top of that, we have these influencers, TikTok influencers, that are like, "Oh, are you feeling this way? Well, let me tell you why. It's because you're a girl trapped in a boy's body." And now that
Right.
adds on
Right.
to it, and and then you get the media on top of that. It's a never-ending cycle. The media is saying, Charlie Kirk, for example, they're saying
Not
that
jerky.
Charlie Kirk is anti-trans and he wants to kill trans people and all that, and they get all this bogus information. So it's a whirlwind of just crap that these people are taking in, and they're not.
But by the way, is it your significant other watching SOA?
Yeah, yeah, she is.
See, I could just pick that up for just seeing what I just saw. It's the episode where they're taking the guy's tat off.
I wanted to ask you a question, and this is
Yes, ma'am.
about chickens. I like to buy chicken breasts on the rib and cook them up ahead of time because I can use them for dinners and salads and stuff. And this is going to sound stupid anyway. I've noticed they're getting a lot bigger. Are they supposed to be that big? Like I get some huge chicken breasts.
I think that's the it's not lab grown, but it's lab grown. It's like
Yeah.
the roid version.
It's the hormones version. Yeah,
They've
for sure.
changed the genetics of, I think,
Yeah.
and I can't prove it all. So it's just this is, I will say, just hypothetically, in a way, it's my thoughts.
Well, I
we
just wanted to know.
engineer,
Mhm.
we gene engineer so much other shit that it would not surprise me to find that big food chains like Tyson and shit actually have gene edited chickens that they actually
Mhm.
have bred and raised that are going to
Mhm.
produce certain eggs, certain quantities. And then they feed them steroided foods so that they boost their growth twice as fast. And because those chickens don't live a life nowhere near what was the word chicken is the only thing that associates it. It lives in
Yeah.
a square that doesn't move. Its food and its water and its shit is on like a conveyor belt. So
Yeah. And
You know,
Tell Michelle
and
that I can even tell her it's the first season of the show.
he can tell it's the first season of the show.
but I think
Well,
they
I'm
do that
gonna.
with a lot because it's all about most of all these corporations are all about making money, and that's your best way to make money.
Well,
Absolutely,
definitely
absolutely.
it's definitely the steroids and the hormones, because my oldest daughter is only 9 years old and she's already starting to form boobies.
Oh. Well, then, I need to ask my grocery store about that because, I just was thinking they're getting a lot bigger boob chickens. And, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
getting
And
a lot
then,
of chicken
then
off of it. I get like 4 meals off of 2 breasts.
Well, and you
yeah,
might
yeah,
check because there is an FDA approved lab grown chicken substitute.
yeah.
What I,
Now, unless your
well, would I be
state
able to
actually
tell?
bans it, yeah, well,
Well, I'm
Well,
in
like I
Florida.
said,
I
I,
think Florida
I,
bans it.
I would look for certain brands because
Uh-huh.
here's the problem. The other thing, like Rescue, it can tell you Tyson is because the Tyson's is the big boy in the thing,
Yeah, I know
and
about
they're the bat
Tyson.
and they're baddie. But a lot of people don't realize how many companies Tyson owns.
No, I know.
So,
Yeah,
so
well, this is the
subsidiary heaven,
Publix.
dude.
Yeah, this is the Publix store brand.
yeah,
So, I mean, it could be anything. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I don't know the
but
history to Publix, but now like some brands, some stores like Brookshire's or HEB, they'll actually produce like HEB. If it's their brand, it's because they actually made it. But there are plenty of others like
Hmm.
Kroger's don't. Kroger will put their level on just like a Walmart will do greater value. So
Hmm.
there are generic made companies that then just stamp brands for all these other companies and it runs under the marketing. Everybody thinks they're buying another brand when really it's the same damn
yeah,
manufacturer making it.
Well,
mhm.
thank you for the info. I think Florida does ban lab-grown meat, so I don't think
Okay.
we have to worry about that.
There you go. Because
Because I would
that's
be
what, and
highly pissed off. I mean, would it even taste the same?
no, actually, people say stuff it looks weird when you're cooking it.
Okay, then this isn't that.
It's probably just steroided chicken.
Well, I'm eating steroids and I'm eating more hormones, which I don't need. Hormones, which I don't need.
hormones.
You'll know
Hormones.
you're getting too many hormones when you got to shave more
Yeah.
than twice a week, Snooks.
I'm okay with that. Thank you. I'm not having to do that.
and,
Thank
and,
you. You're so
and
good with the words. Did Buff get
Yeah.
back?
And the thing of it
I
is with
think
a lot
so.
of medicine too
Okay.
is that there's a lot of things that people don't realize. Like for example, I have a lot of health issues and I have a lot of chronic pain issues. And one of the doctors I saw said, "Hey, look, we're seeing some issues with your liver, and if you know anything about pain medication, 95% of them go straight to your liver." So Um, so the point is when you're looking for something, she had to look for something that would be something that didn't go straight to the liver that got processed by the liver.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was on pain meds for 15 years, but I had very good liver levels. So,
Right. But
and
yeah, but
I went off of them.
I have other issues that result to that. It's not because of
Hmm.
painkillers. It's because of the
Hmm.
diabetes.
Ah,
Mm.
diabetes.
Diabetes.
Yeah, the diabetes. He's got the diabetes. That's off of
Diabetes.
You're
that was a
Diabetes.
game.
diabetes.
There was a
You got
game
that diabetes.
and there's like cheeseburger and he's like like a grizzly bear and he's like, yeah, cheeseburger. That's from Far Cry 4, I think,
Oh
or 5 or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
He's like, but cheeseburger's got the diabetes.
yeah.
It's like it's really weird when people in Hollywood try to sound like Southerners. Like it was like that whole thing on the Superman movie where they're like I don't know if you saw the new Superman movie, Mike,
Mm-mm.
but I was
No, I
like,
haven't seen
why
it
the
yet.
hell are they making people from Kansas sound like they're from Arkansas or Alabama? I'm like, do these people
Right,
not understand what Southerners
right.
sound like? It's like every
Yeah,
rural person has to sound like a Southerner.
I'm
yeah,
kind of Southerner, but I don't think I have a strong accent. Buff, you're back. That was a long cigarette.
yeah. I was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to go down 20 floors and then walk 2 miles to get to the smoking part of the casino. And
He must be in a hotel.
Yeah,
Gee,
he's on a 34 right
well,
now.
I missed you. At least I asked about you. Nobody else did, but I did.
I think I broke
Oh,
the
no, I
Keurig
know. I knew he
machine
was
too.
gonna come back on camera. I'm not his babysitter.
Oh,
Well,
by the way,
I'm
K2,
everybody's babysitter.
This place is huge.
by the way, Mike, did you see that someone made like a video off of the radioactive shrimp from Walmart?
Mm-mm.
And
No.
it's a reel on Facebook, and it's like, and the guy uses cats, and it's like, and so
Oh
he's
God.
he's memeing the song. Remember the song "Radio Killed"? Video killed the radio star.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
He's like, back in aisle 2, I've had some radioactive shrimp and now I'm blue or no green. Oh. I fed it to my children. Oh, they're glowing in the dark. And then like they're seeing like radioactive shrimp from Walmart. That's like,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, because keep on trucking. I bought radioactive shrimp at Walmart.
Yeah, that's predominantly was something in Florida, and there was a couple other southern states where that was mainly the big problem. I heard it on the radio though. Like that doesn't surprise me. It's great value brand.
Right.
I'm tired of them putting chemicals in the water that make shrimp radioactive.
Right. Oh my gosh. But anyways, wow.
Oh, let me say this right quick. This fucking place.
Okay.
You know, you got this part of the casino, whatever, and then they got a separate part for you want to smoke. And, you know, full of games and everything. I swear to God, the transition is day and night. The non-smoking side is like everybody's like, yeah, kind of bright and vibrant, and everybody's happy and everything. And you go through the sliding doors for the smoking part, and it's just like degenerates. It's like the bad side of town. It looks like. I swear to God.
Oh, wow.
It's like you passed over the Tijuana River, right?
Dude, when I first walked in, there was you know, they got the little horse track betting whatever thing section, and they all in there like, hey, yeah, it's out like they're watching a donkey show or something. I'm like, okay.
No, what?
And, first set of machines, there's a guy sitting there, and his I'm walking past this black guy skinny. He's just kind of looking all skittish, looking at the ground. And I looked down at what he was looking at, and it was like this guy was at a machine, and he had a service dog with him, and the service dog was just laying there. And it was like he was scared of the dog. I was like, that dog ain't gonna mess with you. Keep walking.
Right.
It's just, oh God. Where am I? Hello, Daniel Berry.
Boy, they really punish you if you smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like you walked into death, doom, and despair room.
Well, it sucks because they don't. You think you'd have a smoking part of the casino? Why not have certain rooms reserved for smoking? I mean,
What you didn't realize is that you traveled back to like 1970s, and it was like, you know, the 75-year-old octogenarian, you know, woman that's like, I've got, you know, and she's got like 3 cigarettes smoking out of her mouth. I've got lucky 7s. What
Look.
you got?
Have you seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
From the transition of the first casino they went to, you know, that's like the nice one. And then when they go to Circus, that's the smoking part of the casino.
Yeah, it is the
Holy
circus.
shit.
It's the circus.
I swear. I
There's a
want
reason
to
why
strip.
they
I
don't call
want
it
to. I want to
family
make a
anymore.
video, but I don't know if that's allowed. So I just
Yeah, you
didn't.
can.
I think you can.
So you
Just
don't
as
have.
long as you're not
ask.
just
I'll
as long as
ask
you're not videotaping like games. I think that's the big thing, right? Like table
Okay.
games.
Let me see.
So
if I
you
can
don't have
find
smoking
that.
rooms that are available there.
They don't have them.
Huh.
That's
I would
like
think
a
they
lot
would.
of
I
hotel.
agree with you.
I would think a
Listen, I'm
casino of
gonna
all places.
I'm gonna drop off, but I really appreciate you having me up
Okay.
here, and I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And have a good night, Mike, Buff, Rescue, and John. And Rescue, if you
Yeah,
just come
you
on a little bit
too.
later in the morning, I could see you.
Well,
But
you could just get up, you know.
I do
The
about
good old saying's
9:30.
called off your ass and on your feet,
I
out of the
get up
shade and in the
between
heat.
9 and 10, but I don't go to
Oh,
sleep till
please.
about 2:30 or 3.
Right.
That's even, you realize that's even later than banker hours.
I wouldn't know. I don't understand your hours.
I get up with daylight. You know, it's called time to get busy, do things. You know,
Oh,
live
that's
life
because your
in the
rooster won't let you sleep.
no.
No,
Ain't
it's
nothing
called
to do with
waking up with the sun and going to bed with the sun.
it's
Yeah.
called, you know what? All the good shit happens in the light.
I get a lot done, believe me.
You just justify and say it was
Rescue.
a lot, but
I'm
was it
gonna have to
really?
come on your
Was
panel
it?
one day, and you and I can just argue it out.
I don't. It's too early for you.
It is, so just come on later.
See, You just don't have the fortitude to get up that early and say, "That's it. I'm going to show rescue. I can do it." You just can't do it. I know.
Love you, Rescue.
Love you too, man.
Bye bye, y'all, and
Have a
good
good
night
night,
to the
man.
chat. Have a great time. I just love you, Rescue. But anyway, bye.
Bye.
You like my movie
Snooks is a
posters
mess.
there, Mike?
Oh yeah. What's that?
You like my movie posters there?
Oh yeah. You got Back to the Future. Is that
Uh-huh.
Tombstone?
Tombstone.
I
Yeah.
always got a kick out of Snooks. She's always been feisty.
Yeah, she's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. But we
Shit.
love this because it looks we feel like we're living in a log cabin, you know.
Yeah. It looks like one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for you, man, that you
Oh yeah.
moved in there, and
No longer have to deal with
isn't it kind of weird seeing like a TV behind me and a wall and
Yeah, it is, and not being in a truck.
like, yeah, not being in a big truck. And like I was telling Michelle, I was like, man, it's great being local because now, like, normally I probably would be live, but I'd be in a truck and I wouldn't have this cool setup and it's different on the computer, man. I did everything on my phone.
So is that one of her favorite shows, or is she just watching it?
Oh, that's one of her favorite shows, along with
cool.
the Resident. What else
Resident
her
is a good
favorite
show.
Yeah.
Resident's a good show.
The Good Doctor. She likes a lot of medical shows.
Yeah.
She's a nurse.
Yeah. What did she think of The Pit?
Have you seen The Pit? Yeah. What did you think of it?
Really? Yeah. I've been told that a lot of people say it's pretty realistic, but it's but I've.
She said it's very dramatized.
Oh yeah, that's that's the other thing I hear. So you get back and forth, and people go, "Oh, it's either great this or it's that." Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you know what somebody told me? She'll get a kick out of this. It's the 24 medical dramas.
It's the 24 medical drama is what it is, right?
Like, I feel like the little.
Yeah. And Cherokee said that Trump released the Oval Office statement reacting to the assassination 6 minutes ago, but I can't find it. Can you get a link, please? Maybe. Oh, wait, I still have it.
I can't find. I've been looking for that.
I've been looking for it too.
This place has shit for news channels. I give up.
Probably just CNN.
We're at the hotel or the actual
MSNBC
area?
News Now, whatever. Just
keep on trucking. Says, can I get the link, please?
Well, he just sent it there. There you go.
Yeah, I sent it in mine. I don't know if he could see it.
We're gonna have to talk over this so you don't get a copyright strike for the theme song.
You can hear it.
Just not
very little. But I can hear everything though, so that's the thing.
If you want to, I got a video back there, Mike. It's a video from Trump where he's doing it from the White House. So I didn't find the written, but I saw got you the video one.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah, I saw it was live over 30 minutes ago.
All right.
Tell me.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. Go ahead.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others. Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
So, Mike, I don't know if you saw what Barack Obama
Oh yeah,
said,
I
but
see it.
since you're so good at doing his voice, you know, from one president to another, you might try to do, because you could do the good Barack voice.
You know, they act like they have such remorse and sympathy, and it's like, you people are the ones that have actually motivated this.
Yeah, y'all call some
It's like
shit.
all the news reporters, Obama had the Clintons, had the Bidens all come out, and it's like, you people are the ones. Matter of fact, hell, Barack Obama's the one that damn started the whole shit ball of wax going downhill back then. If it had, he's the one that did the coup in Ukraine.
Yeah.
I just
You want to try to you want to try to read that in your Barack voice, or you want me to try it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
We don't know yet. We don't yet know what motivated the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. But this kind of despicable violence has no place in our democracy. Michael and Michelle and I will be praying for Charlie's family tonight, especially his wife Erica and their 2 young children. Let me be clear. We don't like violence.
We just promote it every chance we get.
As a graduate from the finishing school of Sol Skalinsky, let me tell you something. Oh,
Crazy, but oh man,
yeah.
that was a good speech by
Yeah.
No. Yeah, and
Well, and like
him
I
and
like
Kirk.
I was telling you, this will be bigger than Breitbart. Breitbart was huge.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, this is like a generational thing. I mean, this is
Yeah.
Oh, if people don't gather behind this and actually then we start having men act like men and women acting like women and sending the message to help that younger generation, because he was the voice. He was that voice that was connecting that younger generation.
Yeah, he was.
And without a replacement, because they're going to need examples. They're going to need something to fill. Otherwise, this will spiral out of control. Because you already have people in high anxiety, high stress, paranoia, depression, and then now you just had this event kick off. So anybody that was, on a fence, kind of going, well, if nobody steps in up to the to be an example, to be a leader, to keep carrying that message for that crowd, not for their own bubble, but for that crowd to be able to participate in that calm etiquette that he did, then that's where it'll get lost, because that's how he bridged the gap. He didn't do the preaching. He stuck to his point. He believed in what he believed. He explained it, but he didn't scream it. He didn't cuss it. He didn't do any of that. And he walked the talk.
The best way I would try to explain it, Rescue, is he was very much like the William F. Buckley of my generation and younger. You know what I'm saying? And William F. Buckley was the kind of guy, like, if you remember, did you ever watch when him and Gore Vidal used to debate on CBS and all that? I
didn't know. I had never been into politics.
Oh, okay. But it was back in the day, back in the, in the 60s, they'd have these things where they would have these conversations. But William F. Buckley was that person, right? He was very much the person who could express conservative ideas. Like, to me, even though I don't agree with all the things that Charlie Kirk said, when you look at the trajectory of like conservative icons and voices, I would say William F. Buckley, Rush Limbaugh, and then I would probably put Charlie Kirk as the next one in that, kind of where you could even get people who didn't like your beliefs and ideas. And there are a lot of people who didn't like him, but also found him very charming, and what your enemies can say about you, you have to be able to say that. And but he is not the only young guy. He's just the only polished neocon Republican Inc. young guy that could kind of stand that test. But
well, that's because he's one of the few that actually still sees the American dream as in, if I put the hard work into something, I can build it into something. I don't need a handout for it.
He did.
And
yeah.
he
He
was very successful. And that was the foundation for his message, and that's what he tried to pass on to the college crowd that are chasing all these degrees and all this stupid basket weaving liberal arts social crap. But there's actually, you can go put your work into something, find a mentor in the career that you want to do and mentor under them. You don't need all these courses. And he would get them to raise their hand to show how useless they were, the classes that they were having to take. It just became assumed in the general thing. And plus, you're going to have a whole crowd, because you got to remember, anybody that has degrees needs to defend. They're going to automatically be in defense because, well, wait a minute, I went to college for mine and I really need him. So there was a lot of pushback on what he did, but what made him, for me, and what I see as far as the way the world as I used to see it before I got introduced into nice social media to see where society has gone in this digital platform, it's like, oh shit, he was the common sense voice to go and actually just bring facts to the ground, boots on the ground. And that was the one thing. And I like the simplicity of his explanation. It was like the abortion. Well, it's you either believe in human right, and that's at conception when a new DNA is formed. That's kind of an undisputable argument. After that, you're just getting into your emotions. That just, and the only thing I can say that I probably disagreed with him was probably his level of support for Israel, because I don't. I think there's too much attention on the government, and it has nothing to do with really with Israel. This is politics, and that's not what I think the book's talking about.
Yeah. Well, and I think like there were other people who were doing campus stuff like he was at the time, but that was after he had already established the kind of the boots on the ground and the very much the working of it. And really for the longest time up until he was about, conservatives basically just forgot the campus, right? They didn't want to try to get the young people before they become impressionable stupid liberals. And he understood that you have to get to them when they're in college before that all sets in, because they've got to be able to think, and if they can't think, then you're not going to be able to reason with them 10 years down the road when you're trying to explain a policy issue.
Well, and he noticed how there's over 93%, 95% of the professors in the universities are donate Democratic. So that's I personally loved it when he would ask them, when they would come up and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm in economics and stuff," and he would start rattling off these names, and they'd be like, "Well, I've heard of those. Yeah, I've heard of them." Well, do they teach you those? Well, no. It's like, see, then you're really getting cheated, because they're not teaching you real education on both sides across the board. It's all shaded, which, that's obvious. They do that in high school and junior high now. That's where that shit started. That's why I'm glad we're getting rid of the Department of Education.
Yeah. And he did exactly what Rescue has been saying for a long time, what people need to do. He got out there. It was making a difference,
Well, and I do believe that he was, whatever anyone's opinion on Trump is, if you feel like, and I go back and forth on how I feel about Trump, it seems like every other day or week, because there's things that he does that just go, what? Scratches my head. And there's things that he does, and I'm like, wow, that's really amazing. But there's no denying that he was an implemental part of that campaign, with at least on the boots on the ground with the young people and
well, it was
I mean,
actually a tit for tat. If you look at it, he kind of picked up a lot from the first Trump. He gained a lot of ground from that one, and then when it come for the second one, he was actually able to be a lot of momentum for Trump on Trump,
right? Because he at that time he was completely in place for it, right?
Oh yeah, well, he spent that 4 years growing big, and so whenever it came time for this one, then he was actually prepared to be a momental force for Trump.
And then you got to a point where when he did his turning point conventions, people cared about those. There was a time when those people, and I still think there's probably still people, a lot of them to this day, but where like when he was the height of what, and to me that's like right around between 2017 and like 2020, where all of his turning point conventions, like people went out more for those than they did CPAC, and that's insane to think about that, just from what he did as a person. Whereas CPAC was such a huge thing that was very institutional.
Dude, that last turning point that he did, hell, that was what Trump was there, Junior was there. There was like the whole list, the litman of all the names that were there. So yeah, he's really, because see, that's the way. And I got to say, I think what really helped him stand out was he walked the talk. I mean, the guy didn't do the drugs, he didn't do the drinking, he didn't do the partying, he didn't do the vulgar talk, he didn't, act that way. It's not that he was perfect, but it's just that he believed in his faith to where he actually walked the talk, and he carried that message in the conversations. I mean, I'd seen somewhere he had been fired up, so you can see him getting fired up, but it just wasn't the emotional base. It was, it was more on the passion side, that it's just, no, that doesn't make sense. And I would really love it when he used to do the shock look towards the crowd when somebody would say some batshit crazy stuff, and he'd be like, "What? Really?"
Mhm.
And it's like, "Yep." He had a way, and hopefully it's an example. See, you rattled off names that go way back, but I remember, well, before the Facebook days and all that people used to have conversations, and it wasn't like, oh, my clique says this and this is this. That's the social
Mhm.
media world. That's why there's no talking. That's what makes it so hard to do, because people live in bubbles that validate their belief. They don't question their belief. If you actually searched out to question your belief, that would be different. But most people find validation. That's what they're searching for, and that's the algorithm's going to give you what you're looking for.
Mhm.
So especially take that on the frustrated side, same way. That's how it's easy to trigger those people.
Sorry, I had to disappear for a second and figure out how to hook up an external source to
You're
this
good.
damn TV. There's no buttons on it.
No, you're fine. Would you hook up to it?
Well, I hooked my Xbox up to it, but I needed to know if I could make that work, so that way when I stream, I can hook the laptop up and have the second monitor. This fucking 50, 60 something inch TV is going to be the second monitor. Because I don't want to drag mine in here out of the truck.
Dude, that's how it is with me. Like I for the longest time I've had this, 55 inch as my second monitor. which is nice when you're playing, PC games, right? But yeah.
Yeah, because
But
like this remote, like the remote, it's one of these damn remotes that has
yep.
limited function to
Yep.
it, but
Yep.
I just plugged into an HDMI source and then went back to look at sources, and it just says,
You know
"Oh,
what's
unknown,
funny? You know what's
something's
funny
here."
about
Oh,
is my friend, my best friend one of my best friends just got a new TV like in like 20 something, almost 20 something years. So and I was playing him I was showing him how the 4K Ultra Blu-ray that I have HD works, and I said, well, and I know sometimes how to like just push his buttons literally, and
Mhm.
and I mean that in the pun, because I said, he's like, you mean they don't have a play button on there on the Blu-ray Ultra play? I said, no, because there's so many functions that the player has to do that's too much for it. And he says, to put a damn fucking play button on the thing.
All right. Well, it's 9 o'clock, and I need to go ahead and get off of here. Final thoughts.
I weep for this country. It's more or less when are Democrats gonna these leaders are gonna stop and take accountability for what they're doing. I know they don't believe they're doing anything wrong, because just orange man bad, and we need to get out of that mentality. You're gonna point out all the things that one president hasn't done because you don't like him, but all the crap you blame him of that your guy is doing, it was like, oh no, turn your head the other way.
Mhm.
If you can ignore the inconsistencies and the crimes of your guy being at the highest level of the White House, why can't you ignore just some guy in a tent talking on a college campus? Just just look over there. You don't have to listen to him. It's political assassination. That's all this is.
Mhm.
There may be a response. I don't know. Nothing of violence. I'm not saying like that, but there's going to be some kind of strong response to this, because this is just blatant. You already tried to take out Trump, and now you just took out one of his loudest soldiers. This Something's going to come of this, and I don't know what it's going to be. And then tomorrow,
Yeah. The irony in all of this is that the same people who want gun control are the same people who are enabling the same radicals to engage in gun violence for the goal of politics. And as long as that dissonance is there, what can be said to these type of people, right? I mean, I don't think there is anything to be said to these people except for if you come to my porch, like like my friend Rescue would say, if I don't know you and you better have a reason or you're going to meet my 12 barrel shotgun, 12 double barrel 12-inch shotgun, because seriously, these people, they're not, they're obviously trying to push to something, and they're not going to stop until they get their way. It's good to see you again, Mike. Give Michelle your best and all that, and
Yeah.
take care.
Yeah, good to see you, John.
Yep.
Rescue. Your
I appreciate you having me up, man.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot more evil. It's going to rear its head. It's a very sad day. I think it was intentional because of the influence that he brought. And so I think that was the reasoning behind that. I don't think it was just a matter of a difference of opinion kind of thing. Like, I think it was the influence that he was bringing. So pray for his family. And,
yeah, absolutely.
you got to make your day a good day. So you need to look positive. If you have faith, then I would dig deeper in your faith. But I would definitely pray, offer whatever wishes, whatever works for you for his family, because I guarantee you that's not just the action itself being a tough to deal with, but the fact that they were in the tent when it went down. So it's like they've been there since the moment it happened, and processing that is just, I'm sure that's very devastating on her. And it will be for the kids later. That'll be a traumatic thing. So anyway, but I appreciate you having me up, brother.
Yeah.
Muff, have a good night. Don't blow all your
Have a
money.
good one, man. Oh no.
Yeah.
Set
Night, everybody in chat. Y'all take care.
Later, man. Yeah, let's discuss it. I tell you what, one thing I really worry about is sons. They're young, they're still forming up there. Where do they go from here, knowing why their dad had to die like this? And what kind of impact is that going to have on them? What might they grow up to feel? I do worry about that.
Yeah.
But prayers out to his family.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put you backstage here for a second. Oh, sorry. He was in sentence, but I know what he was saying. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a moment of silence, and then that will be the end of the stream, everybody. Like everybody was saying earlier, pray for his family. America has suffered one of the greatest losses today through an assassination. I did title this that he was murdered, and it is a murder. And we pray that the agencies that are looking for those that are responsible actually find and bring to justice. So that's what happened today, guys. Charlie Kirk was assassinated while he was at a Utah campus speaking, and he was killed in front of a large crowd. And so our hearts and our prayers go out to his family. And y'all have a great night. So we're going to do a moment of silence, and then we'll end the stream. God bless everybody. Life is a battlefield. Prepare to conquer it.
Thanks for watching Battlefield Podcast. Now it's over, my how it went by so fast. Please leave a like if you had a blast. Join in next time, you're not an outcast. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you next time. This has been an on-target discussion, and we have reached the end. Our voices rise up, we grow stronger. We never break and never bend. We're all glad you came to hear us out. On Target Discussions, what we're all about. We have reached the end and it's time to go. We appreciate the participation on the show. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you next time. This has been an on-target discussion, and we have reached the end. Our voices rise up, we grow stronger. We never break and never bend. Battlefield Podcast, doing it right. On Target Discussion every Saturday night. Tune in next week and we'll discuss a new topic. Just facts, no drama, and we cut out the gossip. Remember to like